What's up, guys? This is Ramblin Raven Adams, podcast number 3. The first couple were just a couple reviews of some shows I watched, but a friend of mine really wanted me to get into this, so let's do it. So I have one funny subject to talk about tonight, and it will probably branch out into 4 or 5 other podcasts, so it'll be a bit general, but I've got in a discussion with a friend of mine about the whole pleasure center thing and the whole how it relates to God and all that. And it's a fascinating subject to me. I wrote a couple books on religion, so I love arguing that type of stuff. So here's the gist of it. I'm not gay. I think everybody could be able to do whatever the fuck they want in their own home. Personal freedom's a big thing of mine too. As long as you're not hurting anyone else, good, knock yourself out. Do whatever the fuck you want. Shoot up heroin, kill yourself, do drugs, what the fuck ever. 2 consenting adults over 21 should be whatever your choice. But anyway, back to the subject. So, we all know that God hates homosexuals. It's in the Bible all over the place. He kills them, doesn't want anything to do with them, wants them burned. You can't procreate that way. There's all kinds of weird arguments about the whole homosexual thing. But why, if God created man in his own image, why is there a pleasure center right up your anus? Like, what's the point of that? How does that even make any sense if God created us in his own image and he hates gay people? So, the one thing I was curious, I was reading about it. So there's a lot of physical aspects of it. You know, your penis comes back in. It doesn't just start here. You know, it goes in there a little bit, creates all the semen. There's all kinds of nerve endings in there. So not at the opening of the anus, but you go in there a few inches, do a little of this, you're going to fucking shoot some load. Why is that? Who the fuck knows? I think that's pretty fucking fascinating and a good question that nobody really talks about. And, you know, like I said, I'm not gay. I don't really care what people fucking do. I have gay friends. And I've never done anything in there, so I'm not talking from experience. But it's kind of got me curious because a lot of people think, oh, I'm not doing that because I'm not gay. Well, if you and your wife are fucking around up in that area, and you're thinking about your wife or some fucking hot model or whatever, beautiful actress or whatever the fuck you think about, if you're not thinking about other dudes, there's nothing gay about it. That is a normal pleasure center. It's just a deviant behavior maybe. Obviously you got one hole to shit out of, one hole that sperm comes out of, one hole that babies are made out of. But what's the harm in fucking around up in there if it doubles your orgasm or makes it just super intense or I don't know. So I've never even wanted to try, but after reading that it kind of like eased my mind a little bit. So, you know, maybe in the future, who knows. As of right now though, I have no experience up in there. But I do think that's fascinating. I think if it makes no sense. If God didn't want you to be doing that shit and you're made in his own image, why is it there? You know, does God do that with his wife or girlfriend? Who the fuck knows? Anyway, just a fun little discussion to have. And that could go in a million different ways, and I'm excited to see what kind of comments people have about it. Because, you know, one thing, and I'll get into other religious podcasts, I'm sure, to talk about a multitude of subjects, but God loves everybody. And one thing I love about Jim Jeffries, he does a pretty good bit on this, you know. Like, God loves everybody, and he's all forgiving, and blah, blah, but he fucking hates homosexuals. He wants to kill them all. Like, I don't know. Anyway, I'm definitely fascinated by the anatomy and the different parts about it. Just in a broad stroke, like, you know, the DMT molecule the parts of your brain that trip off sensations that you're talking to dead relatives, you know, the things that happen chemically when you die, what happens after death. I've had out-of-body experiences, so I know there's more to the human body than just physiological stuff. There's a spirit, there's something going on. And I absolutely am against religion completely. I think nobody knows. Like I said, that's another big topic I'd love to get into. But I don't know, I think life's pretty amazing. Life's a journey. I don't think we know that much about everything. We know like a sliver of 1% about why we're here. Nobody knows what happens after you die. Everybody says they know about religion, they know about what happens. They're fucking liars. Nobody fucking knows. Everybody has different beliefs about it, and that's fine. Everybody can believe whatever the fuck they want, but when you're sitting there arguing that you know, that's just ignorant. That's just fucking stupidity. I mean, how do you argue against creation, you know, and evolution? And that, so many people have been killed in the name of religion. It does way more harm than good. So I think it would be nice if everybody could just believe whatever they wanted to, as long as they're not hurting anybody else, and as long as they're not just yelling and screaming and preaching and spitting and killing and bombing and whatever the fuck they do in the name of religion. That should all stop. Everybody got to have open discussion. You decide you want to be an atheist. You decide you want to be a Mormon. You decide you want to be a Buddhist. You know, that's fucking cool. Everybody should respect each other's beliefs. And if we open a discussion about it, if I come to you and say, hey, tell me about your religion. Tell me about Scientology. Because I'm fascinated by that shit. And we have a discussion about it. And I can just disagree. But to argue and say you know, I mean, that's fucking crazy. And, you know, the whole thing with, anyway, back to my little pleasure center thing. I mean, life's just amazing. I think, and you know, a quick version of my views on religion, I think if there is a God, and I hope there is, I hope there's some purpose to this. I hope we're not just crawling out of the swamps and we die and that's the end of it. And I don't believe that, but I think as long as we're good people, if there's a God, that's all that matters. And I think if there's a God, he just went, boom, set the Big Bang in motion, and he sits back and watches it. And maybe some of this stuff is kind of predetermined. Maybe he knows who we are. Maybe he set us all up to test, each and one of us. But if he knows everything, he knows what's going to happen, what's the point of it? Why are we coming down here if we all fucking... He knows exactly what we're going to do in every scenario? Then why fucking do it? That makes no fucking sense. So, I don't know. It's just fascinating. Is this a simulation? Are we a big alien ant farm? Who the fuck knows? And I think it's fun to try to figure that shit out and talk about it. But everybody needs to calm the fuck down when it comes to getting all excited about it. And just making it a point that everybody's going to fucking believe what you believe. And everybody's wrong except you. How could you be that fucking stupid and ignorant? I mean, some of the most intelligent people argue that shit. And it just blows my fucking mind. So, we'll get in some more podcasts. I'll start some more tonight. And hopefully I get a bunch of responses. Hopefully a lot of people tell me what they think. And hopefully everybody can talk about it without getting offended by it. Why the fuck does anybody get offended by someone else's opinion? That's beyond me. Like, I understand your family members maybe. Your dad thinks you're a fucking idiot. Yeah, that can hurt. But still, it's just a fucking opinion. And how you get affected by it is in your control. It's 100% in your control how you deal with every human situation. Death, loss, losing all your fucking money, having a child die. Of course it sucks. Of course a lot of that stuff is super fucking hard to deal with. But, it's up to you. And if you have good friends and good people around you, and you put off a good vibe, everybody will help carry the load with you. So, I know it'll never happen. It'll never fucking be that utopian society of everybody just looking out for each other, nobody fucking each other over, nobody hurting anyone else, nobody raping and fucking hurting little kids, no husbands abusing their wives. Like, that would be fucking amazing if it was like that. It'll never be like that. But if everybody kind of took a hard look at life, maybe looked out for each other, just offered a hand, this whole world would be so much of a better place. And all this energy we put into fucking hating each other and tearing each other down or suing each other and all the greed. I mean, we could fucking do incredible things with that wasted fucking energy. So, hopefully, I will touch some people's lives and make them think. Hopefully, I'm not doing this to make money or be famous. I don't really give a shit about that stuff. But if I convince one person to chill the fuck out on their views, back down a little bit, one person to help somebody else in need, that's fucking worth it to me. Because then if there is a God, I guarantee he doesn't give a fuck if I was in every single church meeting or gave money to the fucking homeless or, whatever. We're all human. We make mistakes. No one's perfect. And we have to take care of our own needs. But if we can make just a little bit more push in the right direction, working on the shit that matters, changing our attitudes just a little bit, maybe we'll start going in a direction where we can really make a big difference. Let people in the fucking intersections, Let people in. 1 fucking second, if you don't let somebody else in, you think your life and your day is going to be that much fucking different if you fucking muscle somebody so they can't merge with you? I mean, good fucking God, you guys. Blows my fucking mind. The things people do. And the biggest thing I want to say and end with in my podcast number 3, which is my favorite number, is turn your fucking phones off and don't talk during movies. Yeah. Well, if you like it, subscribe, and hopefully you'll be hearing more from me. No hate mail. Put your energy into just fucking some good constructive criticism, and hopefully I can grow this into a pretty cool forum.